Hello, everybody. It's Royce Eddings here, and I want to welcome you all to my YouTube channel, The Four Horsemen. Now, The Four Horsemen is your ultimate destination for all things rock and roll, classic rock. We throw some heavy metal in. We're celebrating the legendary artists, the timeless albums, iconic anthems that define generations. We cover the music you love, the stories behind it, and the history that made it happen. Boy, was I tripping on my tongue over that whole episode. So we're going to get started. Now listen, everybody, tomorrow day is the Super Bowl. It starts at 3:30 p.m. They're projecting 3.5 hours. If there's any overtime or anything like that, who knows? So Michael and I both decided, Michael first and I followed, decided to do our shows tonight. So we weren't, I could just see myself trying to stream at 7:30 tomorrow night, as opposed to 6:30 because of the Super Bowl. I just didn't want to do that. I know Michael didn't want to do that either. You were right in the middle of the Super Bowl being on too, so that would have been bad.
Right.
So,
Well, I always want to service my core audience. Like today,
yeah,
we didn't have one of our biggest audience, but we bumped up to 50,
right, right.
and even that was better than where we had kind of fallen there right after Christmas and everything like that.
Yeah,
But
no,
I,
that's
I
right.
make
Yeah.
it for those core audience, those core 50, first of all, but then I try to make it embracing of new people and everything. But
Absolutely.
and I was surprised that I got as many people on my stream as I did today because I
Oh
don't
yeah.
stream on Saturdays.
No, I know. And we'll see what
Yeah,
happens here tonight. So what I
yeah,
want
yeah.
to start out with is what is the story behind the Super Bowl? Okay. Well, the game was
Huh.
created as part of a 1966 merger. The Super Bowl game was created part of a 1966 merger agreement between the NFL, National Football League, and the competing American Football League. Okay, it was designed as a championship game between two rival leagues. The first game known then as the first couple of games were known as not the Super Bowl, but the AFL NFL World Championship game. And that one saw Green Bay Packers, the very first one, beat the Kansas City Chiefs, January '67 by 35-10. It officially became the Super Bowl in 1969, featuring Roman numerals. And this happens to be, believe it or not, Super Bowl 60, and I saw the very first one,
Yeah, same here.
and I wasn't a baby either. Okay, so the 2026 Super Bowl is Super Bowl 60, which is LX. the the LX stands for 60.
The L
The
stands
L
for
represents
50,
the
the
L's
X
50, the
stands for
X is
10.
for 10. That's
Yeah.
exactly right. So, okay, so what is the story behind the Super Bowl? LX is the upcoming championship game, Super Bowl 60. National Football League, NFL, for the 2025 season. It will be played between the National Football Conference champions, Seattle Seahawks, and the American Football Conference AFC champions, the New England Patriots. The game is scheduled to take place tomorrow, Sunday, at Levi Stadium in Santa Clara. How far is that from you, Michael? Santa Clara, California.
It's within 2 hours, probably two and a half,
Okay,
maybe.
okay. The
Won't be
second
gone.
Super Bowl to be held at that stadium, and the third game to be in the San Francisco Bay Area. Okay, so the Seahawks and the Patriots both finished with 14 wins and 3 losses. That was the two best out there. 14 wins, 3. That's a hell of a record too. Okay, so they're both seeking. Okay, let's see. What do we have here? The AFC. Okay, are
Who's
seeking a
playing
record
tonight?
seventh. Huh?
Who's playing tonight, did you say?
The Seattle Seahawks.
Or tomorrow night?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The Seattle
Oh, the
Sea
Seahawks versus
and the
New
New
England.
New
Okay.
England
Yeah.
Patriots. Yeah, and you know how
Hmm.
many games they won with Tom Brady there back to back. Okay. So
Yeah.
the merger, well, the first 4 games were played uh, before the initial 1970 merger. The leagues merged from the modern NFL and AFC and NFC conferences instead of just the NFL. Okay. So the Super Bowl halftime show originated, this is kind of funny here. January 15th, 1957. The initial shows, the ones that went from 67 through to the 70s, early 70s, they they typically featured marching bands, drill teams, and unconventional acts like jetpack flyers than any pop stars. Okay.
Those were the days.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, those were the days. Yeah. So anyway, I'll go a little further, but I want to get to the panel because I want to get the conversation going. Okay, so during the 70s and 80s, it was a group called Up with the People. The touring group with people frequently performed in the 70s and 80s for the Super Bowl, luring a more produced, they were bringing a more produced, themed, choreographed show to the field. Um,
Who'd they get? Brandon Tarkoff to come up with that idea?
I
You know,
don't.
yeah,
Okay,
uh,
but that was
sounds like his move.
oh right. Okay, so now the shift to pop culture in the 90s, following a 1992 drop in ratings caused by a counter programming special on another channel, kind of freaked out the NFL. So they shifted to featuring major pop stars, starting with Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson was the first major pop star to perform at the Super Bowl in 1993. So what we have right now, okay, folks, 2020 Super Bowl headliner is going to be the one and only Bad Bunny. He will headline the 2026 Super Bowl 60
Oh God, I got
halftime
all of a sudden
show
I'm itching. I think I have an allergic reaction.
tomorrow, February 8th. In a statement, Bad Bunny highlighted the cultural significance of the event, saying, "This is for my people, my culture, and my history." Okay, whatever, brother. Okay, so
Welcome
let's
to
okay,
fucking America, dude.
okay, but now, but check it out. Well, he's Puerto Rican. That is
All
American.
right.
They
Yeah,
vote
but
they vote legally for the president.
yeah, but either join in, be American, or quit. Separating my people kind of thing. If you're
Well,
American, you're
if
American,
the
and
president
that's
wants a
cool.
51st state, they've been waiting out there for 50 years to be the
We don't
51st
need
state.
no 51st state. Good
Well,
Lord.
you know what I'm saying. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
No, that's fine and all of that, but my biggest gripe with the guy's rap, man.
yeah, okay.
No. Yeah.
Okay. So his selection, this is, yeah, I told you how his selection came. The NFL intensified efforts to grow its Latino fan base. I mean, it wasn't him volunteering. They said, yeah, sure, come on. They sought him out, and I'm going to tell you why right now, which the league identified as essential to its expansion strategy. In 2024, NFL Senior Vice President of Global Brand and Consumer Marketing, Marissa Solis, stated that the league growth is mathematically impossible without Latinos. So, okay, so now you can see where this is all coming from. Okay, over 39 million Latino fans in the United States, one of the largest Latino fan bases in any American sport. So reactions to the announcement, Michael, were mixed. Okay, not everybody was excited about it. Some
Uh-huh.
responses were positive, celebrating the selection as a milestone for Latino representation. However,
Yeah,
however,
but then have
this
freaking Santana on then, man.
that would have been perfect. I would have been super happy with that. Bring
I'd
Warren.
actually watch that Super Bowl.
Oh, you
I
got
would
that, yeah.
actually watch it. Yeah. Oh boy.
So
I'm
anyway,
a
so this,
cranky
this
old
year's
bastard, so
yeah,
don't
you
mind
you
me,
you know what,
folks.
you really are.
I am. There's
So
no
this
doubt about it.
so this year's Super Bowl halftime show doesn't come without controversy. There's people that like that he's there. There's people that wish we had somebody else. Watch the show tomorrow and decide for yourself if it was good. I'm gonna
Yeah,
watch
yeah.
it, and I'm gonna have to pay to watch it because all we do is stream here. So I'm gonna have to sign up for a subscription and cancel it in time before I pay anything. Okay, so what
You
were the
are a
most?
sneaky bastard,
Oh
aren't you?
man. Well, yes, I am. Thank you. Okay, so what was the
You know,
most
between
popular?
the four of us, we almost make one good man.
Okay,
Chris goes, "Hey, I
so
beg your pardon."
I
Chris
got
didn't say a word.
one more thing I want to say. Okay, so what was the most popular halftime shows? We're going to go through a big list of those, top rated and most watched. Michael Jackson performed at Super Bowl 27 halftime show in 1993 at the Rose Bowl in Pasadena, California. His iconic performance, which included Jam, Billie Jean, Billie Jean's Not My Lover, and Black and White, you know, is widely credited with transforming the halftime show into a major star-studded event. 133.5 million people viewed that performance.
It
So
was a lip
anyway, guys,
syncer's delight.
all right, panel, what say ye?
I love Michael Jackson, first of all, but that was lip sync. As a lot of his shows were, by the way. People don't know that, but anyway.
Yeah,
Uh, yeah, I'm not going to criticize Bad Bunny anymore. It's just not my gig, right?
right,
I'm all for growth and including other cultures like the Latino base. I could just think of a whole lot more.
right.
A ton. How about Los Lonely Boys? Los
Well,
Lobos.
no,
You
yeah,
know,
totally,
uh,
man.
we could, that to me would be a much healthier gain in Latino, you know, uh, um, because a lot of this rap and everything, it's like there it's all bling no sing, and a
Yeah. Well,
rapper.
when
And
you said
Brandon brought this up too.
okay,
What did he say? He said, "Get ready for Bad Bunny and the backing tracks." You know,
well, I
and
think you get a lot of that at the Super Bowl because it's just you're outdoors. It's a big
right.
place.
And to be
There's a
honest
lot of
with you,
noise.
yeah, to be honest with you, if I was over at a friend's house when I was a teenager and they were
Yeah.
watching the Super Bowl, I watched it. I first of all, I played it a lot as a younger man and kid, not on teams or anything like that, but skins and shirts and semi
Yeah.
tackle, that type of thing. So I
I,
played it at least, backyard
yeah.
serious. I love the
Well,
game. It's
we
all designed. Think about this, Royce. The end zones are each Army's pillbox. And the mission for both teams is to destroy that pillbox, either by sacrifice of a guy carrying a bomb. Look at it, it's the only sports ball that isn't around. It looks like a freaking bomb. They even
right,
say
right.
he's throwing a bomb, right?
No, it's a
So
bomb because it's you don't know where it's going to land.
yeah. So the kid in me loves
So
the
you're
shit
hoping
out
for the
of
best.
that,
Yeah.
and you can get hurt. It's not soft. I love that. I love that. I love that. But the only time I followed football real seriously is in the 80s when Joe Montana was king of the universe. And
I
I was up on all the teams then. And then after he left, I was around for another 2 or 3, 4, maybe 5 years and kind of lost interest in it. I
yeah.
was back to playing music, so I was busy a lot
Right.
in those years, right?
Well, I hear you, Michael.
Yeah, yeah.
I was a big football fan too, and I got to see probably 7 or 8 49ers games live up there
Yeah, yeah.
at the stadium. A friend of mine's dad had season tickets, 5 of them in fact, and when he didn't go, he'd give them to Joe, and we'd all go, and that was
I
awesome.
met
Often.
what's it? I met the murderer of the team. Remember Simpson was playing for the
Well,
team for a short period there.
for a short period. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
and he was coming out of the clubhouse when I was at Candlestick Park. I didn't say hi, but I knew who he was, man. I was,
Oh, yeah.
I was just so blown out that OJ was there, and now I wish I could go back in time,
Oh, man,
and kill Hitler.
Well,
But he was kind of a
tell you,
child. I liked him. I was a fan of OJ.
you know, you know what? I chose number 32 as my jersey number at high school when I was playing football
Ah,
because it was
see,
OJ's number.
yeah.
I watched every damn game he was that was televised that he was in. He was
There was a
my
time
hero.
he was really considered a true American hero,
Oh
Yeah.
both
man,
the
I never
cinema
seen
and sports.
to this day I've never seen a better running back than OJ Simpson. Hey, I gotta
Oh yeah.
let me tell you guys a
Yeah.
quick OJ story.
Barry Sanders.
You probably already all heard it, but I got to go to a few of them, but this one it was a big fight in Las Vegas. It was a couple of big, I think maybe Oscar De La Hoya and Sugar Shane Mosley or something like that. And so we're sitting there, and what's funny is all rock royalty. I mean, I've been doing this for too long. All boxing royalty shows up to these big fights. So one by one they come down. Their names are called, and they stand up and they wave to everybody. And Lennox Lewis walks in, champ at the time. He got the dark glasses on, brown pinstripe suit. He circles the ring and he's waving to everybody. And all of a sudden, I heard this commotion behind me. I heard guys yelling like, "He did it! He did it!" and laughing and giggling and shit. And I turned around and I'm sitting on the end of the aisle, so I'm right out on the aisle. Here's O.J. Simpson walking down the aisle. And this is after, he'd already been in a whole lot of trouble. And he was stopping along the way and shaking hands and laughing and ignoring all the shit that was going on. And then he worked his way down, went down real close up front seat, and some beautiful woman eventually came and joined him there. But anyway, so I thought that was kind of funny seeing him like that. But
Well, you know what? When I met OJ, it was like I got a case of the I'm not worthies, and you know what? When I did that, he didn't say you're worthy. So I missed talking to him.
Yeah.
Hey, Royce, you know what? One of Doc's comments as we're talking about great shows, he
Yes.
brought up for him, the hot spot was in 2000, Phil Collins, 01, Aerosmith, 02, U2, 03, Shania Twain, 04, Janet and the Malfunction,
Mhm.
and 05, McCartney, great show.
Mhm.
06, The Stones, great show. And 07, Prince, great show. I saw all of those. I even saw Janet and the Malfunction, and I felt dirty after, But
Okay.
then he says 08, Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, 09, Springsteen and the E Street Band, and 10,
Okay.
2010, The Who.
Okay,
So,
well,
wow.
the show's over now. Michael just, went ahead and went through the entire content.
Well, it was in the
Justin.
comments, so I
Well,
thought
this is
we'd
all- this
highlight
is-
it and
this
we
is
could
all-
talk about those.
Well, I know,
Yeah.
but okay, I had whatever. Okay. Yeah, we'll bring them up when we get there. Here's Justin Timberlake and Janet Jackson. She's covering her breast. He just ripped the top of her top off, exposing her breast. And we'll talk about that some more too. But I thought I'd get that out there for Michael.
I'll do without it. I'd feel like I would be attracted to Michael.
Okay, Dan, big football fan?
Well, I was for many years.
Yeah.
I'm kind of old school. I kind of like the halftimes with the marching band and all that. But I was in the marching band when I was in high school, so I kind of
Oh, you were.
for several years. So
Nice.
I always kind of like the halftime to see the bands and listen to the bands. But when it started going towards putting a concert on during the halftime,
Right.
I've never really cared for that.
Oh, you didn't?
I go to football games to see a football game. And stuff that's not so much entertainment. It's like
I
when
agree.
when I go to a concert, I don't expect a football game to break out.
Right.
So
Right.
they should
right.
keep. To me, I always thought they should keep them separate. But
Good-
and also during
Great point.
during the halftime, that's usually when I went up and went to the bathroom, and I didn't really watch it anyway. So
Right.
I don't know. To me, and then actually I kind of boycotted the NFL since about 2020 when they started bending to a lot of cultural pressure, and I think that should be left out as well. That it's just like going to a concert and someone stands up and gives you their political view. I don't want to hear that.
Yeah.
Same with the
Okay.
NFL. When I go to see
Okay.
the NFL, I want to see the football game. I don't want to hear or see anything else. just because they're separate. They're separate things. I mean, you got concerts you go to, you got sporting events you go to. Sometimes I think they just keep them separate. I mean, there should be some type of entertainment at halftime, but it shouldn't be. It seems like here lately it's been divisive.
I hear what you're saying, but I'm glad it's not the marching band and the stuff it used to be. People out there on jetpacks,
Well, the jetpack thing was pretty cool. I remember when they did that.
I know. I've seen that. I like the ones in the water too.
I was fine with the marching bands, man. It's like when you go to a picnic at a park and all of a sudden you see a barbershop quartet. That's not my favorite style of music, but in the moment I like it. So when I was at football games, to watch a marching band halftime was kind of cool. It was traditional, and I like that.
You're right.
Now, one thing I did like what Super Bowl did every year, and you're going to get into it here a little bit, are the commercials. That's what
commercials were always fun. Yes.
They're going to a commercial. What are they going to show this time?
I know. Yeah. There's some great commercials. But anyway, so let's see here, folks. I think what I want to do is so we're going to get into now, Michael. I have some shows here, but don't be afraid to bring up some of the ones you brought up moments ago. Just scrolling through them so we can discuss them also. So as I mentioned, Michael Jackson was the first of the big pop star shows. After a long drought. So the next one I was going to bring up, and I had the picture up. I'll put it back up while we're talking. This was cool. I watched this live, and Justin Timberlake and Janet Jackson were singing and dancing, and he reached over as the song had just ended, and things were quiet and they were calm, and he ripped her wardrobe, and I'm sure it was all well staged. He wasn't going to do that if it wasn't staged. But it created some real issues. So there was first of all, Janet and Justin weren't the sole headliners in 2004. They were also joined by Jessica Simpson, P. Diddy, Nelly, and Kid Rock, who I suppose, or I've heard, is going to be doing his own Super Bowl halftime show, an alternative show, because they don't like the Bad Bunny thing. Tomorrow. But we're
Kid Rock is about as snore-fest as Bad Bunny, if you ask me.
Yeah, I know. But specifically, the spotlight, this duo as the stars of the show. They were spotlighted as the stars of the show. The performance was termed wardrobe malfunction, or my favorite term for it, nipplegate. After Justin Timberlake tore away a part of Jackson's costume, exposing her breast, this caused a media firestorm about appropriate programming in prime time, as you could imagine, and generated 540,000 complaints to the FCC. And Janet's career never recovered. That had to be planned, because that wardrobe came apart pretty damn easy in that one location, like it was just velcroed on there.
Yeah.
So anyway, have you guys got anything that you want to? Let me just put this back real quick. You guys got anything you want to add to what we were talking about with Timberlake and Janet Jackson?
No, I saw the clip on that. I didn't watch that one because I wasn't interested in him, but I saw the clip. That was everywhere.
Yes, right.
I'm almost thinking that Timberlake just ripped a little too much. It was Velcroed, but it was only designed to go down so far, and maybe in his excitement, he ripped it down further than planned or whatever. I'm not so sure it was planned, but either way, it was risque to begin with. This Super Bowl, families, kids, not cool.
Yeah, to me, it had to have been planned. I just don't think they could have or would have done that if it wasn't. But it was a pretty stupid plan.
If they actually planned it, was shame on them. Truly, not a cool move.
Al Val, it said if who was it? Dre, Dr. Dre is in charge of if he's in charge of the show. Oh, Jay-Z. I'm sorry, Jay-Z from New York. East Coast, West Coast stuff. All right, Jay-Z. I don't think Jay-Z has anything to do with the halftime show. I think the Drake group does, though. I think I have something on that. Groovy Lisa. Dalek Shalom. Okay, so Chris, I haven't heard much from you yet today.
I don't mind. I like the Super Bowls. Be nice if I ever watch one with my team in it, but that's a different story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I always liked the halftime shows when I was younger, but after a while, if I was watching them in the bar or something, that's when you'd go to the bathroom or you just do something, and you wouldn't necessarily have to miss the commercials because the 15-minute halftime would cover that. But talking about the commercials here in Canada, if you're watching it on cable, the Canadian cable stations play the Canadian. You don't get to watch all the American commercials unless you watch it on American network TV.
Okay. Well, I always loved football. I mean, I was talking about how I played it in high school, and but when I really started playing football was out in the middle of our street in our neighborhood, and we would play till after dark with the lights on the pavement, try to keep from running into cars. And if a car came, somebody'd yell, "Car, car, CAR," and everybody would move back to the sidewalk, and the car would go through, and we'd go right back to playing again. We did that with football and baseball, right out in the middle of the street. The whole neighborhood would join in, and we just have
that's pretty much me too. Only usually at a field,
I grew up in a cul-de-sac, so we kind of had it made.
Oh yeah, there you go.
I tell you,
I
I threw more than one ball through a window too.
I did that once.
Yeah, well, mostly when we played baseball out there, it's a little harder to control. But
see, with us, it was a couple of hockey sticks, a net, and a ball, right? Go and play some
yeah.
But I just wanted to add too, that I never really watched too many of the Super Bowl halftimes. I'd watch them mostly in videos afterwards, per se.
Yeah.
But going back to the last few years, and including this year, all this stuff about Bad Bunny, Jesus Christ, does anybody even remember who's playing in the game, or do they just know that Bad Bunny's in the halftime? I mean, it overwhelms.
Yeah, no, that really kind of blew up. Yeah. What that reminds me of is it reminds me of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Only it's
I was thinking
more up front, more in your face, because the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is that Super Bowl is 100 and something million people all at once. So I just think it goes even further than that.
Yeah, well, I wasn't trying to compare it
I understand
in that way, but I'm just talking about the unhappiness with the selections,
Yes.
But anyway, so guys, let's see. Now, Michael, you have a list somewhere. You were reading it moments ago.
Yeah, it's in your comments. Go up early, and you should see Doc Insomnia's comment.
Yeah, I know.
It's part 1, part 2, and he just goes through what he thought was the golden time, and he started in 2000 and went up to 2010.
Yeah,
2000 to 2010,
and it was that was a pretty decent time. Zone for that. A lot of those shows I saw.
I'm not going to go find it right now. Let me plug forward here. The next person I wanted to bring up was Madonna in 2012. Okay, she headlined the Super Bowl in 2012. The halftime show at Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis, delivering a highly acclaimed 12-minute performance that drew 114 million viewers, making it the most watched halftime show in history at that time. The Egyptian-themed spectacle featured guest LMFAO, laughing my fucking ass off. That's an interesting guest. Nicki Minaj, MIA, and CeeLo Green, performing hits like Vogue and Like a Prayer. Does anybody want to comment about Madonna?
It was lip syncer's delight.
I'm sure, yeah. I'm sure it was. Okay.
Yep.
Any fans of Madonna? I mean, I think there was probably a point in time where we might have been brief fans of hers. I know I've got I think I have 3 albums left over that were hers. I don't even know where I got them. I think they might have been my younger brother's.
Never bought her.
Yeah, I didn't buy these either, but I have 3 of them. Anyway, so all right, let's take a look at who else is on the list here. We have Katy Perry. Katy Perry. I saw pictures of how she.
Not the astronaut.
No, there are few entrances as grand as standing on top of a giant golden lion. Yes, she came on stage on top of a giant bright golden metal lion with glowing eyes. Katy Perry went all out with her halftime show in 2015 with performances of Roar, Dark Horse, California Girls, Fireworks, Teenage Dreams, and who can forget the notorious Left Shark and his poor coordination. Okay. All right. Yeah. We'll try to get through this. Then we can go grab Insomnia's list. Okay. Bruce Springsteen. Bruce Springsteen was the headliner in 2009. Put the chicken fingers down and turn your television all the way up, the boss ordered when he came out.
Good show. Good show. I liked it.
Set. He started out with 10th Avenue Freeze Out and also included Born to Run, Glory Days, love those songs, Working on a Dream. Springsteen will make a cameo of sorts this year as he stars in an advertising spot for Jeep. Man, I'm really getting tongue-tied tonight. Okay, another fan favorite, 2017 Super Bowl headliner was Lady Gaga. One of the most outlandish halftime shows in recent memory. Lady Gaga began her performance by hurling herself from the top of the stadium.
Damn, I was hoping. I was so hoping.
Yeah, she has fans. Attached to a harness, of course, sparking 1,000 memes. Once safely on the ground, she thrilled audiences with her biggest hits, Poker Face, Born This Way, Telephone, Just Dance, Million Reasons, and Bad Romance. Now, I know a lot of people don't seem to like her at all. I thought she was really good in that show with, who was it, Brad? Anybody think of his name offhand? They were both singers, and he started out, he was a great singer. I think they wound up getting together, but he wound up dying in the movie.
Oh, is this another remake of A Star Is Born?
I don't think so. It was kind of kind of a Western type, country type thing.
Yeah.
But like her or not, like her style or not, the girl can sing, of course.
Yeah.
Okay, now this was a favorite of mine, Jennifer Lopez and Shakira. I saw that in 2020. Shakira's rock-heavy opener felt like a direct, riposte to the tired nation that men are the only ones who can put on a show. These hips don't lie. That's a great song too. I have that on video on my iTunes. Singer wielded her electric guitar like a weapon. She wielded her electric guitar like a weapon for Empire before J-Lo touched down from the Empire State Building, a nod to her native Bronx, for a frenzied and superbly choreographed series of dance routines. That was enjoyable to watch. I mean, we're talking, Shakira. She's always a pleasure to watch. I've always been a fan of Shakira. J-Lo, not so much. I don't know. What do you guys think? You guys got some fans here of Shakira?
I think I purposefully missed that one.
Okay.
Not a fan of either one. So
yeah, same here.
Yeah. Well, when I say fan, I enjoy watching her dance. I don't have any of her music or anything.
J-Lo has, she's done some good movies. Yeah. Or Jennifer. I mean,
Yeah,
J-Lo.
Yeah,
J-Lo, Jennifer. I especially love the one she did with Robert Redford, who played her dead husband's father, and she has to come into town, and he kind of blames her for the accident. And it's one of Robert Redford's very best films, way better
really?
than The Natural, and this is an older Robert Redford.
Yeah.
Oh God, great actors in it and everything. So she, and one of her, the maid, when she played the maid in Manhattan, I played that every single day for my mother as she was dying
did you?
from cancer. And
Sorry
she
about
couldn't
that.
keep her mind on it, so we'd have to rewind it and rewind. So I'm a fan of acting, but as a performer, that's all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I do have a couple of Shakira videos on my iTunes that I haven't watched in years. One of them's her and Beyonce dancing together. Okay, so let's see.
And how they did that is Beyonce me. Sorry.
Okay, so the headliner in 2013 at the Super Bowl was none other than Beyonce. And I saw that one. I've seen most of them, I guess. You know what? I don't watch a lot of football during the year as much as I love it. I get more interested around playoff time. And I definitely always watch the Super Bowl. And really, it's the same with me with baseball. I got all excited about the playoffs this year, but I don't think I watched a single game all year. But anyway,
well, it's been a busy year for you, Royce.
I was going to say I'd like to change that because I do enjoy watching sports. I'm not a fanatic. I mean, it got old spending all day Sunday watching games, football games, because you get one after another, then a late show, then a Monday show, and it's like, you don't have time to do anything else. You're going to watch them all. At some point, I just got kind of tired of it. And I just had other things to do on Sunday. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, rather than just sit in front of a television all day. But
I think I've actually seen more sporting events this year than I have in quite a while.
Yeah.
I went to 2 Dallas Cowboy home games. I've gone to several hockey games.
Well, that's cool. Real cool. Yeah. Yeah. I've gone to Lakers games. I saw the very first Lakers game that Kobe Bryant played in. He was fresh out of high school. And it was so fast, but it was like he was new and he'd never played college ball or anything. He just played high school ball. So they put him in for about 5 minutes and pulled him out, and that was it. They're just kind of like feeding it to him a little bit at a time, And then I went to a lot of those games. I love watching the interaction with Kobe and Shaq and the competition in some respects. But I love those games. I saw many Lakers games live down in LA, many San Francisco 49ers games, including the very first game Deion Sanders played for him, where he caught the opening kickoff in the end zone, ran it all the way back to the other end zone for a touchdown on the first play. It was just incredible. And you know what, Michael, you mentioned Joe Montana earlier.
Yeah.
And boy, he couldn't have had a better backup in Steve Young. Steve Young was almost his equal. I mean,
he was good, but he wasn't Joe. He didn't have
Joe.
The timing, the finesse. I actually did meet Joe Montana right after he retired. I was a restaurant and equipment supply specialist for Ritz Foods. And my all the restaurants that I sold to were up on Highway 1 north of Jenner. And so he was in an antique shop coming out as I was coming out of the restaurant, putting the order for my driver to fill. And I just said, Joe, you supplied me with more moments of satisfaction than any other sportsman in history, brother. And he said, well, thank you. And a big smile. The flecks of gray just barely starting to show through,
Right.
Joe Montana gave me a lot of heartache since I'm a Dallas Cowboy fan.
Yeah, I'll bet he did.
Dallas and San Francisco back in those days, wow.
He gave a lot of teams heartaches.
Well,
in his prime, he was untouchable. I think in his prime, compared to any other quarterback in their prime. You know, those core years, he's untouchable. His touch, his finesse, his ability to read a major fuck up and turn it into a victory. That's like listening to Jimmy Page live, you know?
Right.
His timing, everything about him, his bulletproof accuracy, his ability to freaking run if he's as a last effort, and his willingness to run when he doesn't have to, you know? I'm surprised he got out of there brain live, you know?
Yeah, well, you know what? They don't all, especially the boxers, you know. But there's been a lot. This whole concussion thing has just really ruined some people's lives, you know.
Right.
Yeah, I just saw an interview with Joe Namath the other day.
Oh, you did?
Yeah,
Broadway Joe.
And he's like 86 now. He's pretty old now.
Right.
But he was talking about all the concussions he had as a quarterback.
Right.
They did MRIs on his head, on his brain, and there was a portion of his brain that said it showed black. It was dead and because of all the concussions. But he said he went through some type of therapy, and over this period, that dark area started lighting up again. So they're talking about the hope of people with the big concussions can recover from that eventually.
Sounds like he had to mentally learn to rebuild his synaptic connections.
And watching him during that interview, it was the old Joe Namath of old. I mean, he's in his 80s, but he's still spry, and he'd answer questions right and left. You know,
amen to that. He was a biggie.
He was great. Yeah.
Yes, he was.
Don't forget all those commercials he had. Yeah.
I loved him.
The pantyhose.
Oh yeah. No, I liked him in variety shows. I liked him. You know, he's just a good guy. He had a great. Yeah.
Right. He's got a great sense of humor for sure.
Yeah. For sure. Oh yeah. No, he was great in all those movies and stuff.
Yeah. He always had that shit-eating grin on his face. I like that. You know, that was real.
Yeah. Well, Dan, you mentioned the Cowboys, and I got to tell you that my dad was from Texas, and I grew up sitting in the living room with him watching the Dallas Cowboys play, and Tom Landry, and a great coach. But that was fun too. My mother was a New York Yankees fan because she grew up in New York, and everybody I knew in Nevada was pretty much LA Dodgers fans, you know. So when I showed up one time at the Henderson Youth Club, and all the older guys were there and stuff, and they were all big Dodger fans. Sandy Koufax was the pitcher, ruined his arm that season, couldn't pitch anymore after that. They made him play too much, pitch too much. But anyway, so I walked in, and we're all sitting there talking, and they were like, so what do you like, man? I go, the Yankees. And everybody turned and looked at me, and they go, they're a great team. These guys that were in there, the older guys, they were all great athletes. Basketball. One of them got a scholarship to pitch for a university, and they're great basketball players. And they were all 2-3 years older than me. I was the youngest guy in there watching the game with them. But they were cool. I mean, they respected an athlete. It didn't matter whether it was their guy on the other team or what. They had respect for athletes because they were all athletes. Anyway,
you know, when I was a teenager, I actually worked a refreshment stand at Texas Stadium at the Cowboy games, and I worked at one of the largest ones. So when the game was over with, and when the players were leaving, we were situated where we were by the locker room, and I'd see all the Cowboys come out. Roger Staubach, Bob Lilly, Walt Garrison, all those guys.
No kidding.
And the thing back in those days, even as famous as the Cowboys were and as popular as they were, and they're, they never wanted to have a Super Bowl in Dallas because Texas Stadium just wasn't large enough. It just couldn't accommodate the Super Bowl.
Okay.
So years go by, and they finally built AT&T Stadium. You know, and they go, wow, this is a state-of-the-art stadium. Right. It's in Texas where the weather's good. It's got a roof. This is an ideal spot. So I think it was in 2009. They had the Super Bowl here. First and only time it's ever been in Dallas.
Gotcha.
And so what would, here in Texas, we have a huge snowstorm. And it screwed the whole Super Bowl thing up. They said, they vowed never come back to Dallas because of the weather. I said, well, it doesn't snow that often in Dallas, but it happened that one time during the Super Bowl.
One time.
And there was some injury because there was a lot of ice on the thing, and the ice would fall off. And it was hitting people. And
But the ceiling itself didn't really collapse, right? It was just the
No,
ice.
no, no. The stadium was
Okay.
fine. It was just the ice on the outside falling on
Yeah,
everybody.
sliding off. Yeah, yeah.
Plus all the
That's
traffic
really,
accidents,
really dangerous.
and the roadblocks. It was just a mess.
Wow.
So they vowed never to come back to Dallas because of that. I said, well, how often does that happen? We rarely get any frozen stuff here, but
Right.
when we do, it can be a problem.
Right. Hey, let me ask you guys. Zep Pearl, our good friend Vance, who's got a fantastic channel.
Yes, he does.
As the name implies, he's talk about a Led Zeppelin expert. Zep Pearl is that man. He's got all things Led Zeppelin stuff I've never seen before.
He collects Led Zeppelin like some people collect the Beatles.
But he collects a lot of other things too, and he also goes to a lot of concerts.
Yes, he does.
But he brought up the '85 Bears, and if I'm not mistaken, that was the Bears team that just killed it, and they had songs, and they were dancing.
Yeah, Refrigerator Perry.
Yeah. We are the Bears hustling crew. I don't remember the song now, but it was really cool stuff.
Yeah. That was a big time for the Bears.
They had that young quarterback too
right.
back then. I can't remember what his name was. Really arrogant quarterback.
Yeah.
I can't remember what his name was.
Yeah. Me neither. It's not coming to me.
I can't think of it either. Yeah.
But name just a casually interested wife who, Refrigerator Perry was.
Yeah.
I wasn't a Bears fan because I'm on the West Coast, San Francisco, I guess if in a pinch, the Rams, when they were in LA and all that.
Well,
And a lot of, LA people said, no, it's the Rams, but in a pinch, it's, it's San Francisco. It's the 49ers.
Well, that's
type
exactly,
of thing.
Yeah, no, that's right, Michael. When I moved from Nevada to Southern California to Long Beach, well, I came from a state that didn't have any professional sports teams. Of course, now they've got the Las Vegas Raiders. The Raiders are playing football there.
Well, back in the day, the Raiders they trained at my house in my town, my hometown. I'd see them just like Dan would see Dallas. Yeah.
Well, Dan would see Dallas. Well,
the Dallas Cowboys headquarters is literally 5 miles from my house here in Frisco.
Yeah.
Wow. Well,
when they trained in Santa Rosa, for their training prior to the season, they'd hang out at the El Rancho Capitana. What was that? What was that, baby? El Rancho Tropicana, right?
Tropicana.
And they died. You just go in there and see them all the time. It was kind of a thing to do, and it was real easy to meet team members and everything.
Oh yeah,
and it was a great place to pick up chicks.
Oh, I can imagine. Yeah.
It was great.
Did you go with your jersey on?
No. I always was just me, but I'd walk in probably with a long sleeve Captain America shirt, and my hair looked pretty much like it does now.
I heard about that shirt before. Did you get that from your brother or something like that?
Yeah. It was his shirt, and I'd steal it because he got it because he liked, and so did I, the Easy Rider film. So I would steal it from him and play on stage with the damn thing,
Gotcha.
If I could find one today, I'd be wearing one occasionally up here.
Well, okay, so Michael, you brought up the Raiders a few minutes ago, and I just wanted to say that second only to the Niners when it comes to going to see live games was the Raiders for me. And once again, it had to do with a friend with season tickets. I probably saw 6 Raiders games 1 year, or over 2 years, maybe. Yeah, and the tailgate parties. This group that would go from Atascadero, where I live. They were all friends, and they all got up there together, and they all had massive tailgate parties. Everything you could imagine to eat and drink, And we would just have an absolute ball. But the very first Raiders game I went to, my son-in-law, his best friend, who I knew very well, Joe. Joe's dad worked for a big contractor, and that contractor hired a bus and was taking all of their employees to see a Raiders game. I even got my ticket for free. Didn't even know the people.
Yeah.
So anyway, so we're on our way to the Raiders
And Ken
game.
Stabler was, like maybe
Yeah.
my second favorite quarterback at the time
Yeah,
too.
yeah, he was good.
Ken the Snake? Are you kidding me, man? You know?
So we get on a bus. We're heading for the Raiders game. Well, the bus breaks down halfway there. We have to wait for like 2 hours for another bus. Okay, so we finally get. So okay, now we're on our way to the Raiders game. You got to hear this story. My son-in-law goes to the back of the bus to use the bathroom. Well, there was some guy that everybody said was on meth. Short guy, real heavy, acting real weird and spacey and stuff on the bus. Everybody was kind of like disgusted with him. Well, he went back to use the bathroom, and as my son-in-law was coming out of it, he accidentally kicked the door and it banged against my son-in-law. Well, my son-in-law could take care of himself, but somebody turned to Joe Betchart, his best friend, whose dad got us this trip, and said, "Hey, Joe, that guy down there at the end of the bus just punched Tim in the face." And he didn't punch Tim in the face. He kicked the door by accident and bounced off Tim, who was very, very drunk because people were passing around funnels that they were filling with beer and stuff. And I was like, I'm too old for this shit, man. So anyway, so here comes this guy back from the back of the bus, the one that they said punched my son-in-law, Tim. Joe Betchart jumps up, and Joe doesn't need any excuse to fight. He loves to fight. Joe Betchart stepped out into the middle of the aisle, hit this guy, and I'm not exaggerating. He must have slid on his back 25 feet after he got hit in the face. And he popped back up on his feet. His face just erupted in blood. He started doing this three Stooges thing with the blood on his face, and making all these weird noises. And Joe says, "You'd better just go sit down." Well, I'm not going to let no, you better just go. And he finally did go sit down. But then I got to spend the rest of the game sitting with my son-in-law, who was basically sleeping because he got too drunk on the way up there. Well, this guy was pacing back and forth, the one that got hit in the face, staring at my son-in-law, pacing back and forth. Anyway, enough of that shit. Let's move on. God, I get carried away with these stories sometimes. So Beyonce was a headliner. It was bold. It was fierce. It was fierce. It was virtually flawless. Burning onto the stage with Crazy in Love after an a cappella Love on Top, she threw down some of her best dance moves before moving to other hits like End of Time, Baby Boy. Lastly, there was hysterically inducing Destiny's Child reunion. Her old band, Destiny's Child, showed up. So she had a reunion with Michelle Williams and Kelly Rowland. Performance so powerful, the lights at the stadium were cut when it ended. That's pretty amazing. Okay, now here's another one that I know it'll be popular with my panel. Some of these people, I've enjoyed their music over the years. I mean, everybody knows who Eminem is. Did anybody see the movie 8 Mile, Eminem's life?
Nope.
Yeah.
My brother likes Eminem as a lyricist, Gary, and he's a songwriter as well, a good songwriter.
Okay.
And I disagree with him. I don't buy him. Never did.
It was different. It was rap, it was rap. So anyway, Super Bowl 22, okay, featured Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, who's in the Dr. Dre camp, Eminem,
Jesus help me.
Mary J. Blige, Kendall Lamar, and it was called a hip hop showcase. Even 50 Cent was there. But anyway,
was this on Halloween?
No, nothing I'm aware of. Okay, so the 2020 Super Bowl halftime show was a critically acclaimed historic celebration of West Coast hip hop, featuring Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, Eminem, Mary J. Blige, Kendrick Lamar, and 50 Cent.
You're torturing me, Royce.
I know. It was hailed as a high energy triumph, blending nostalgia for Gen X and millennials with a groundbreaking set design. Excuse me, folks.
All of a sudden,
Okay, now,
Madonna's looking
you know,
better.
I have a pretty wide tent when it comes to music, you know. I mean, Michael, you know very well there was a point in my life, maybe 16, 17, where I listened to soul music as much as I listened to anything, you know.
Yeah. Oh, I
I
know.
mean, you know, Marvin Gaye, The Temptations, Wilson Pickett, Mustang Sally. I mean, I loved all that stuff. And when rap came along, I'd been into the blues. I'd been a member of the Blues Society. I went to blues concerts. I took a blues cruise to the Caribbean, all blues acts, a different one every night, me and my wife. And so I was really into the blues. And prior to that, I was really into soul music. And when kind of rap came along, there was some of that kind of appealed to me. Not all of it by any means, but some of it. And
Okay,
what
Royce, I understand that. And I think I need to make a clarification right now for viewers who aren't familiar with my whole tack here. Okay, I give my honest opinion, folks. I'm not the last word, never will be. How I run my streams is I go by the consensus of what I call the tribe, and many times people, if I cut down rap, because it's not my gig, so I don't like it, and I don't
yeah,
like its mark on the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. It's an enemy of mine. I don't like it. But I know
okay,
many of my viewers do like a bit of rap, and that's cool. I'm not even cutting it down as a art form. I just think it needs to belong in its own goddamn Hall of Fame and leave ours alone.
no, nothing
And
wrong with
that's
that.
my
There's a
opinion. And
country Hall
and
of
folks,
Fame,
if
and
you disagree with that, that's cool. I'm not up here serving as, well, this one's worthy, that one's not.
well,
But
I
I
know, but
will give
this
my
wasn't.
honest opinion
No,
every time.
and that's
You
fine,
know,
and that's what we want, Michael. But
right?
what I'm talking about has nothing to do with the Hall of Fame. Just music that I've enjoyed over the years of different genres.
Right. And I just
But,
never got into it. You know,
right, no, I get that.
the
Yeah,
closest thing was when Aerosmith had a dip into it, and I guess Rush did kind of a white man's version of rap on "Roll the Bones." I kind of like those, but I
right.
often saw like what Rush did is more spoken word than actual rap, but it did have kind
Hmm.
of the rap lilt to it, and I like
Yeah,
that. But
right.
that's as close as I've like, because I live in a neighborhood where rap is coming out of every small European car that you could think of, and the subwoofers are blasting, and all I hear is the motherfucker. You got the
That,
N
that,
word, the N
that's
word,
it. That's
the
it.
N
Oh
word.
yeah, yeah.
And it insults the fuck out of me.
My
You
wife
know.
doesn't understand how well colored people, for example, are so comfortable using that word. But if you're not a colored person and you use it, that's a whole different story.
Yeah, well, the whole thing is any white person that would use the word, fuck you. Uh, but at the same time, the way that they've claimed ownership of it and freely use it,
Oh
to
yeah,
me,
it's all over
is
the rap songs. Yeah.
if my feeling, and of course I'm not, and I wasn't raised in a black family like Steve Martin was, but uh, my feeling, if as much as this white boy can kind of put himself in another black man's place, if I was a black man and I got called that, I punched the motherfucker, the freaking mucker futter out. I really would, that's
Yeah.
an insult. It's an insult whether it comes out of a black mouth or a white mouth. For me,
Yeah.
and I didn't like John Lennon using it. It
No,
wasn't that great of a song.
I
But
wasn't
anyway,
familiar with that use of it, but yeah.
yeah. And now
So
John Lennon comes out, redoes Sean Lennon redoes his album, and that's not on there, And so there's all this fuss from the vinyl community going, yeah, it's really too bad that, the N word song wasn't included. They can't say it, even though it is the title that John Lennon wrote, and it was available. And there was a time when
Right,
white
right.
folks could at least say the title, whether they agreed with that use of that word or not. They could at least reference the freaking song, and now you can't. That's
Mhm.
taking ownership of the English language by a subculture. It's wrong every time. And if it happens with white folks, it's just as wrong. You know, we got to get back to the garden. We got to have a set of what's cool and what's not. That word was never cool in its existence, and it's
No,
not cool now. I
no,
don't care who's using it.
no, I agree. I totally agree with that, Michael.
Mhm.
Let's look at this now. Another great performance, another great Super Bowl performance took place in 2002, and that was U2. Their performance at the Super Bowl
It was
halftime
great.
show
I saw it. It was great.
at the Louisiana Superdome is widely regarded as one of the most emotional and significant Super Bowls shows in history. Okay, occurring just 5 months after the September 11th attack, on the Twin Towers and the Pentagon and everything else. The Super Bowl history, okay, occurring just 5 months after the September 11th attacks, the performance was a powerful tribute to the United States and the victims of the tragedy. So that is great, man.
Say amen. Now, finally, a good cause.
I don't remember necessarily seeing that one. I may have. I probably did actually. Another one I want to bring up.
That was one of the ones Doc brought up, by the way. He liked that one too.
And I think he brought this one up too because I saw some notes he had on earlier. And this is the Who with the headliner in
That was
2010
one of his. Yep.
in 2010. And I probably have another one here that he has too. The Who delivered a 12-minute. They're all 12 and 13 minutes from the headliner. 12-minute 5-song medley at the Super Bowl halftime show in February 7, 2010. Okay, at Sun Life Stadium in Miami. Led by Roger Daltrey and Pete Townsend, the performance featured iconic hits like "Love This Song," "Baba O'Reilly," "Won't Get Fooled Again," and it was all done on. They were on a massive laser lit bullseye theme stage. That would have been a great show. I don't remember seeing that one. But okay, so let's bring up this one. This is considered maybe the best performance of all time, Super Bowl halftime show. And I know not everybody's going to agree. This is so subjective, you know. I mean, you know how many of these I looked at just to put enough together for the show? I could have had 5 different lists of 12, 13, 15, all completely different. And they all would have been names everybody knows. Okay. The greatest, of course, Prince performed during the
Yeah. That was great.
the greatest, of course, the purple one wasn't responsible for the rain that began to pour during his hair-raising 12-minute performance. Okay, which included covers of "We Will Rock You," believe it or not, "All Along the Watchtower," one of my favorite Hendrix songs. But the timing was so perfect, following renditions of 1999 "Baby I'm a Star." Prince closed on "Purple Rain" in what has to be ranked among one of the greatest live performances of that song.
Oh, yes, for sure.
So anyway, okay, so now let's see if there's any way we can go back and see if Doc Insomnia's list is there, and maybe we can discuss some of the people that weren't that I didn't have planned that I didn't have planned to talk about. But I don't mind talking about it. I'll go as long as everybody wants to go. Sometimes,
Hey, Royce,
yeah.
what about the Dolly Parton Rockstar? Let's do Queen backwards. Let's do "We Are the Champions," follow it up by "We Will Rock You." I mean, if you're going to pretend to be a rock star, at least get the fucking songs in the right order. Jesus Christ.
Right. Okay, so I'm scrolling up and I keep having to grab it and move up higher. And I'm looking for your comment, Dr. Insomnia, your list, I should say.
It's at the very, very top.
The very, very beginning. Yeah.
Very, very, very. Okay.
You
Probably
know, like
His-
10 minutes after
his
you post
list-
it, when you- yeah.
His list is he says 2000 Phil Collins, 2001 Aerosmith, '02 it was U2, '03 was Shania, '04 Janet and the Malfunction, '05 McCartney, agreed, '06 Stones, agreed, '07 Prince, agreed, '08 Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, agreed.
yeah.
09 Springsteen and the E Street
Springsteen.
Band.
Okay, we did that. We
Yeah,
didn't do
very
Tom
good.
Petty.
And then he
The Who.
ends 10 with The Who. Yeah.
Yeah, Black Eyed Peas. I was not. Me and my son-in-law disagreed on that one. He really liked their show. I wasn't crazy about it. I guess I just wasn't into the band, the Black Eyed Peas. So I would have skipped over that one in any event. But yeah, no, as Michael was reading the list, I ran into it, Dr. Insomnia. And I thank you, man. I appreciate all that you do. Tom Petty, I would have liked to have had that in there. Okay. Let's see. All right. Let's see. Who else did I have he's got here? Shania, Janet and the Malfunction, McCartney. I could have put McCartney and the Stones, either one in, actually. Anyway. Well, it's just nice to read through the list, out loud in front of everybody, because what am I seeing here? Of course, all these years could have had Ozzy, Black Sabbath. Imagine what they could have produced for Crazy Train, a real train full of loonies in straitjackets. Now that's entertainment. That's exactly right, Dr. Insomnia. That is entertainment. Thank you.
Now, Ozzy did perform at a halftime someplace. Let me see if I can find where that was.
Yeah, because he looked like this was lately, before he died, and it looked like they had him on a brace, and he covered the brace like he was strapped up to stand up because he was still standing, and he had this long to the floor goth jacket on. To cover up the fact, but you could tell he never took a step. He just stood and sang.
Okay.
Is that the one you were talking about, Dan?
Yeah, it looks like what I'm seeing is that at SoFi Stadium is the Bills versus the Rams, September of 2022.
Yeah.
Right.
And he played Patient Number 9, Crazy Train. That may have been it.
Wow. Yeah.
I think that's the show. I think that sounds spot on, actually.
Boy, you know what? I miss Ozzy. Something about it. I mean, I can't think of too many deaths of musicians that have affected me like that did. And it still lingers.
Yeah, this halftime show, he said, I'm watching the video of it right now. And he did just like at the back to the beginning concert where he rose from the stage in his chair.
Okay.
Well, here he rose up to the stage, but he wasn't in his chair. He's standing there.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, that would have been cool.
And he was propped up like a mannequin, but it looked cool.
Right.
It was sad because I remember seeing it and going, oh, man. But at the same time I go, but if I wasn't looking for that, cool,
Right. Well, leading up to this show, I think we started almost 2 years early talking about the last concert for Black Sabbath, including Ozzy Osbourne. He wanted to do a final one with, the original members, because he toured before and it was the final tour for Black Sabbath. But Bill Ward had a problem, financial problem with the way, I guess he was being treated. I don't really know what it was, but it didn't work out for him. So somebody that I know, Tommy Clufetis, wound up drumming. He was Ozzy's drummer, so he came and drummed all that. It was a huge tour. I don't remember how many shows it was, but it was huge. So Tommy got to drum on all of that. And so I was kind of happy for him for that. But Ozzy wanted that final show with the original lineup, and he got it. He got it.
We wanted it.
We all wanted it bad. We really did.
not
Yeah.
all of us were happy
But
with
but
Tommy.
when it became known, when Sharon let the cat out of the bag that Ozzy could no longer walk, leading up to the final concert, that we still weren't sure if he was going to make it or not. He
Well,
had to
and the
stop.
news came out in dribbles. I mean, I did video after video that would
Right,
correct the last video because new information came out. But
right.
after a while, both Royce and I kind of felt the gravitical forces that where I think you and I did a special stream where both of us were still wondering whether he could
We
actually
might,
do the
we might
show.
have had more than one. It was we just
Yeah,
didn't know what was going to happen. Well,
that's
Something
right.
something could change on any given day.
And my
For
biggest
all of us,
stream of
but with the pain he was suffering with, and all the damage to his spine and neck, and
yeah.
anyway, go ahead, Michael. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just going to say my biggest stream I ever did. I think we got a peak viewership of 289 peak viewers. That stream wound up with
Big.
9,000 views.
Yeah, yeah.
Because this was such a big story, man,
Big
and
story.
people had picked up that I had been covering it on my side as well as covering it with you on your side. And so there was a big interest in that story.
Yeah, there really was. Zach Wilde, who played for Ozzy's solo guitar on all that No More Tears and some of those albums, and I loved it, all of it. And I loved his guitar playing too,
Yeah.
actually. And he was being interviewed, and I did a show on this. I have a video out there on this. Zach was saying Ozzy was going to perform in a flying throne. And I kept trying to figure out how the hell this was going to work.
I know.
He's all broken up, and they're going to bring him in on cables with a flying throne and set him down, or what? Like, it didn't make a lot of sense to me, but I was going with it there for a while. I even made a video on it. Ozzy to perform in a flying throne. Ozzy's sitting in a throne, and he's in the clouds.
Well, part of it was he was already kind of on a throne for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So
Right,
we were thinking for this big comeback that and there were reports that they were considering it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. So I was so happy he got to do that final performance.
Oh, me too.
I got to get busy reading my book, Last Rite, that Dan sent me. I love that book. I started reading it, and then I put it down. I haven't picked it back up. Have either one of you guys finished reading it?
Actually, I hadn't gotten into it, and I just started reading it.
Right.
So I'm into the first couple of pages, but I actually picked up a portion of it yesterday.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying it, and I want to get back into it and not put it back down till I'm done.
Well, see, the reason I haven't gotten to it and I'm still not finished is I have the McCartney book, and I'm into that because I want to do a series. He's got his movie coming out. What is that? February 29th. He's got a soundtrack to it.
Yeah.
Can you believe that? I thought the Wings box set would have served that purpose since it came out just prior to this movie. But no, we're going to get yet another soundtrack with 2 previously unreleased songs, outtakes of Big Barn Bed, stuff like that. I'm not interested in it.
Michael, I'll tell you something. I just bought a Wings album.
Which one did you get?
It's the new one that's out in the white cover. I've been noticing it around.
Oh, right. The box set.
I finally bought it.
Yeah.
No. It's a single album.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they did do a single version. No. It's like the white box set, only it's the single disc version. It's a truncated version of the 3 disc.
Yeah. I know what you're saying. But I tell you, I like every damn song on that album.
Oh, yeah. No, I even said online that I felt that it's probably the best single disc collection of his songs out of all the compilations,
Well, that always happens to me with anything Beatles related. Once I listen to it, it's like I know the words to all the songs again. I don't remember when that happened, but it did.
Well,
And
it was the magic
I
of their
know,
writing, Royce. It spoke to everyone,
well,
you
I
know?
know that I've told you a couple of times, Michael, I never really got into the Beatles solo careers so much. Don't get me wrong, I have a few things. I have a Lennon thing, a Harrison thing, a couple of Ringo things, probably more Ringo than anything. But I have a Paul McCartney album. I can't remember which one it is, but now I have this one too, and I really like it. So I'll be exploring that more in the future.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm a little bit of opposite. You know, I bought everything from John Lennon, Paul McCartney, most of what George released, and I bought the Ringo album.
Right.
So I didn't buy everything by all four, but I
No.
did buy the three main writers and the one album that was almost a Beatle album, just because I was a Beatle fan, the Ringo album. You know, so
While you guys are talking, let me take a quick look.
oh, and what do you got? Is that what he's doing?
I think so.
Yeah. I'm right now. I'm still collecting. I've gotten more McCartney, but I just picked up John Lennon's Plastic Ono Band. You know, I've got George Harrison's two triple albums, Bangladesh and All Things Must Pass. You know, Band on
Yeah.
the Run. Yeah.
Okay, that one's still hidden in the trunk, but I do have. I'll show you this one real quick. Even though I have this album, it's the first album by England's phenomenal pop combo, Meet the Beatles. It's a little bit different, and I'll tell you what's different about it. First of all,
It's not with
the
the Beatles.
well, I know it's not with me. It's the 60th anniversary
Okay.
on opaque blue vinyl, and it goes on to say, so it is analog, of course. It says replica of the original mono US album release, analog cut from the original master tapes on 180-gram audio final, colored vinyl, includes an insert featuring an in-depth essay on the history of the album.
Yeah,
that's
the
cool.
album is almost Please Please Me,
Okay.
if you think about it.
Okay.
It's based on the VJ version that the Beatles put out that had a lot of songs from Please Please Me.
Do you
And
have
so the US version that kind of made up the US version. It's the second Beatle album and all of that, but and it is the second Beatle album. But VJ also had a rendition. So rather than it following the UK version, it as far as my memory goes, it was more of the VJ record than it was the UK record. Am I right, panel? Or I don't know.
I don't
That's
know.
as memory serves, anyway.
Michael, do you have this?
No, I haven't gotten. The only U.S. albums I've gotten are ones that I've found to bid on, things like that. And they're original U.S. albums. I wasn't going to go for the U.S. releases. I was dead set against it because the Beatles were dead set against it. Now all of a sudden they've embraced it. When I can name countless interviews from Lennon, McCartney, and Harrison especially, that they were frustrated with those U.S. albums. They just hated them. And now they're embracing them, repackaging them, instead of giving us, the Rubber Soul box set, which is possible. I've already contacted our covered songs, outtakes that are known to be available, and we deserve that damn album. But here we got the U.S. releases instead,
I was recently reading that the vault was empty and there may never be a Rubber Soul box.
Yeah, I had a video on that, covering that. It's my second to the latest video. No, and in that video, I bring out, that's exactly what his freaking father said before Anthology was released.
Right.
And I think it's connected to Tom Green, the new CEO, who came from the Harry Potter franchise, right? So he's a franchise kind of guy. And so they're using Giles as a mouthpiece to sell the fact that, there's nothing left. And who was it? Christian, Divining Dragon sent me a long list of known recordings that could be put on that. Man, it would be as a big a box set as Rubber Soul. And even if you don't believe me there, guess what? Help was a 60th anniversary last year, too. They could have bunched them both together with a bonus disc inside a nice book, but no. We get the U.S. releases. We get the Red and Blue album.
Right.
No, everything no true Beatle fan was asking for.
Okay, we're gonna get into the commercials here in a second, but I got to make a public announcement first. Would everybody please hit that like button, hit that like, thumbs up button, whatever you want to call it. It helps the show get distributed to a wider audience. And there's a
smash that sucker, folks.
Smash it. There's a milestone of getting your first 50. It doesn't help to get 50 over the next week or so when the video's playing.
No, you got about 36 hours. Yeah,
by about the next day, or you're not going to get that bump in views, and
maybe a day and a half. So every thumbs up is appreciated.
You know, the bottom line is YouTube wants content creators to be successful, because if you're successful, they're successful. They're not getting paid if you're not, successful. So they want you to be successful, and they give you hints on how to do that. And one of them is hitting that like button. And also if you come across the hype, there's a hype button, and I heard you talking about that tonight, Michael. You wound up getting what you thought was a whole lot more views.
You've got
a whole bunch of hype people hit that hype button.
It was one of my highest hype videos, and it's hit 8,000 views overnight, brother.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but you can't. It doesn't show during the show when it's live. It only shows afterward. Correct?
What's that?
The hype button.
Oh, no. The hype button presents itself when you give a video a thumbs up, and then you get the option to hype the video. When you do that, it gives it, I think, 510 to 530 points. So if you get 10 of those, you now have accrued 5,000 points, and you're on the leaderboard. And if you click, if you tag your videos good, if you click the tag, you can tell how well it's doing. Say it's the hashtag the Beatles, right? You click that. If your video is one of the top 6 to 9, then that tells you that hyping has done real well. I manage this stuff all the time, Royce. Hyping a video is very important. I'm appreciative of it, and I know Royce is too.
Oh yeah. Okay, so let me throw one.
And you can hype 3 videos a week, by the way.
Oh, okay. So you're limited to 3. Okay.
Yeah,
so
in a 7-day pattern. I think it starts on Sunday or Monday, and then it regenerates after you've done your 3. Next week, you can always do 3 more.
Okay. So we have our like button to smash, but there's one more thing that's actually more important than that, and it doesn't cost you a thing to do. It doesn't cost you a thing to do this, and that's subscribe to the channel. Of course, we're all trying to grow our channels, and subscribers is how we do that. And I would really appreciate if you're not already a subscriber, smash that on-screen subscribe button. If you want to hit the notification bell, you'll get a one-time notification that a new show's coming up. We do a live stream every Sunday, except for today. Tomorrow is the Super Bowl Sunday. So we decided, Michael and I we both go on Sunday, but we both switched to Saturday just this week only. He went at 5, I go at 6:30. Those are our normal times. So typically he'll be live on Sunday at 5, and I'll be live on Sunday at 6:30.
And by the way, folks, for those of you who didn't see my stream, just consider the replay my Sunday stream, man, and gonna give that sucker a thumbs up. Okay, enough shameless self-promotion.
Okay, so like I said, if you're not already a subscriber, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Help the show keep growing. We're having fun with it. We want to keep doing it. But that's our little reward as a grow subscribers. So anyway, thank you guys so much. And it looks like I have been gifted one membership. Thank you so much, Rock and Robin. That's awesome.
Awesome.
Yes.
Now you guys got to click on it and accept it, okay? Because if you don't, then the algorithm might, give it to somebody else. So if it doesn't come across real fast, you become a first level warrior if you do that, right?
Right.
Okay, so that means for 1 month, you are one of the Four Horsemen's warriors there on Royce's, and you get access to stuff that's not on his channel.
Right. Okay, so let me say this. I neglected to give Michael Boswell a shout out from last week. He did make a $5 super chat. Much appreciated, Michael Boswell. And tonight we've had a super chat from Michael Noland and from membership from Rock and Robin Bird. Thank you guys so much. Really appreciate it.
You're so welcome, Royce.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, so I want to get to these commercials. Unfortunately, they're all copyrighted because some of them are freaking hilarious. Nothing I would like more than to actually play these commercials because they're all available. And I highly recommend a couple in particular. There's one that's got Betty White in it. She's out there playing football. And she gets tackled and knocked into some muddy water. It's just something else.
Anything with Betty White, I'll watch.
That's a Snickers commercial, right?
Yeah, that's the Snickers commercial. That's exactly right. Okay. So these are all-time classic commercials from 1980 to 2000. These commercials defined the golden age of Super Bowl advertising. You know how that was such a competition between the advertisers when it came to the Super Bowl. I mean, everybody was wanting to get chosen as the best commercial. And there was great ones over the years, just great ones. Okay, so the Apple commercial in 1984 was directed by Ridley Scott. This cinematic ad introduced the Macintosh computer. Remember that?
Yeah.
It featured a heroine smashing a Big Brother screen, symbolizing Apple's challenge to the status quo. Big Blue being IBM. Man, I'm getting a cold or something.
Hugely successful for Apple, by the way.
Yeah.
That commercial truly put them into the playing field.
Oh yeah.
Right.
And the Macintosh, the Apple stuff was always so easy to use, You wanted to get rid of something, you drug it over to a trash can and it was
Oh, I know. I'm a Mac man all the way, brother.
Yeah.
I never used Mac.
And I tell you, if you had an original Macintosh, I don't even know how many thousands of dollars that's worth right now, but they're worth a lot of money.
Yeah. Dan, by the way, I am quite familiar, with the other side of the line there, because I had to teach nurses how to, understand when the hospital went into the computer system for the first time. And of course they weren't Apple. And so I instructed people in that, and it's a fine system, for a system that copies Apple. But anyway, no, their whole, they stole the desktop look and everything, and Apple, and they never quite, they're pretty close now. I could be comfortable on any system now,
Although I hear that Macintosh is much better with video editing than Windows.
It's certainly much easier. I
hear things about that from other people that won't do anything but Apple. What was crazy is originally, like my first computer was a Hewlett Packard. I got it in 1985, maybe early 86. I was building a house for a neighbor of mine. He actually lived up in Palo Alto. His parents were going to rent their house in Palos Verdes and make the payment on the house that I was building for him. He was an only child, so then he'd have a house in Palos Verdes and a house here that they were making the payments on. Anyway, it was working out really well. and I built the house for him, and he wanted something extra done, and so he decided to give me a brand new Hewlett Packard computer. And it was crazy how at that time every single brand, I don't care if it was Big Blue, Hewlett Packard, Dell, whoever, they all had their own software that wasn't interchangeable. That was insane.
I still remember DOS.
Oh yeah.
It just C prompts, type whatever to that C prompt to make the computer do what you want. But
yeah.
Hey, I still remember.
Yeah, I didn't get into computers until probably, let's see, that would have been about 91. My brother got into it way earlier than me. And I just said, yeah, when computers can create something, let me know. And then he showed me Mac Paint the first time. And I got a Macintosh, and I do these intricate drawings from a mouse on the advanced Mac Paint that became, and made nice posters and everything. That's okay. Now computers can do what I'm interested in doing, and that's when I got into it. And my brother was an Apple guy, and I had to learn the other way around for work. And I got to tell you, Apple is the most user-friendly out of both systems. It's for me, anyway.
Well, I can see that.
Especially for advanced work, Royce. Like I edit all of my videos, color correction, everything on my iPad. And this, I think, a few years ago, it's about a $50 app, right? And the app is called LumaFusion, and it is so freaking easy to kind of get in there and do all of that integral kind of work. So I just feel more comfortable with Apple. And, I have the other more advanced version of LumaFusion, which LumaFusion was created to act with that on the iMac or the Mac Mini that I bought. And that will be fitting into the channel as well. So I'm just more comfortable with Mac. That's all.
Yeah, well, that's probably what you've always used from the beginning.
Well, I've used both, but
yeah.
For me, and like I said, the latest systems are so compatible now that I wouldn't be at all uncomfortable on a non-Mac machine.
Right. Right.
Yeah. I mean, they're both good. They're both good, So.
Sure. Well, yeah, it's just, what you like. I mean, my phone is a Android, my computer is a Dell. I've never had Apple anything really, but I may switch someday. Okay, so let's get back. Our next commercial is a Coca-Cola commercial. It starts out, "Hey kid, catch!" 1980 features Steelers legend Mean Joe Green. This heartwarming ad showed the tough player softening after a young fan offered him a Coke. It remains one of the most influential sports ads in history. Can you guys believe that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, one of the most influential ads in history. Wow. And I remember that. It really stood out. It really did. Okay, and then Wendy's, where's the beef? We all remember that. It got used in politics for a while too. I'm not sure who the guy was getting picked on. Where's the beef?
All you have to do is hear that, and you see that old lady's face.
that was in 1984. The ad featured three elderly women criticizing a competitor's small burger patty. The phrase, "Where's the beef?" I remember that. Became a massive national catchphrase. Oh my God, who knew, right? Okay, then we have, of course, Budweiser. All those Clydesdales, all those commercials were just fantastic. But this one was Budweiser. What's up? 2000. A single concept of friends greeting each other over the phone while watching the game because a global phenomenon had earned a place in the CLIA Hall of Fame. Okay.
That one kind of got on my nerves after a while.
Yeah.
Right.
It got on my nerves immediately.
The next one was
What's that?
a McDonald's commercial. The Showdown. Michael Jordan and Larry Bird competed in an iconic, funny Super Bowl commercials that have been as anticipated as the game itself.
Was that the one? Oh, go ahead.
No, they just wanted to hit net only, right? I mean, not hit the rim or anything, right?
Yeah. Yeah, weren't they shooting the basket from different parts of the stadium?
Yeah. That's right. Yeah. Now the next one I want to bring up is the one I already mentioned, and it's Betty White.
Yeah.
She's on they're playing football. They don't have helmets and shoulder pads and all that stuff. They're just out there in t-shirts and whatever. And she gets nailed, and she gets knocked down into the muddy water on the playing field. Now I watched that I think twice today, and all you got to do is type in Betty White Super Bowl commercial, and you'll be able to watch the commercial. You'll get a kick out of it. All that stuff.
I can watch that woman feed a crocodile.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, wait a minute. She did that in Lake Placid.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Then we had one that was it was a Volkswagen commercial called The Force in 2011. Now these ads are the pinnacle of marketing, blending humor, high production value, and celebrity, often becoming pop culture milestones. And I can already see that. But another one with Budweiser, you all remember this, Budweiser beer. Frogs in 1995, 3 frogs croaked. One Bud Wise It took three frogs to say Budweiser.
Yeah.
It became an instant hit for its simplicity and surreal humor.
And keep in mind, all of these commercials were shot to look like movies, usually.
Yeah. Well, these commercials became a real competition with everybody,
Oh, yeah.
to have the commercial that was voted the most popular or the best or whatever. So the next one now is Reebok. Terry Tate, let's see, office linebacker in 2003. This ad series featured a fictional linebacker tackling office workers for minor infractions, like not making a new pot of coffee. It is frequently cited as one of the funniest ads of all time. Playing linebacker in the office, tackling people. I love that.
Yeah.
And of course, I already mentioned the Betty White one. That was a Snickers commercial. Yeah. You're not you when you're hungry, right? Campaign. This ad featured 88-year-old Betty White while getting tackled in a mud-filled football game. And it is funny too. It is funny. Let's see. That's called Snickers. Okay. Old Spice. Okay. The Man Your Man Could Smell Like, 2010. Starring Isaiah Mustafa. The fast-paced, humorous monologue revitalized the brand and became a viral sensation. So they brought back Old Spice with this ad. That's pretty impressive. Then we had one for E-Trade, trading online. Talking Babies, it was called, 2008, using a baby's voice by comedian Pete Holmes to discuss online trading. This ad disrupted financial advertising with its blend of innocence and absurdity. Okay, then a Tide commercial, Tide soap, right? It's a Tide ad, 2018. This meta ad starring David Harbour spoofed every common commercial trope, claiming that since the clothes were clean, every ad was actually a Tide ad. Well, that's pretty silly. Okay, so the next one is McDonald's. Didn't I have a McDonald's? Nothing But Net. Oh, this is the one I was thinking about with Shaq and Larry Bird. Somehow I have like two pieces that are separated. Okay, 1993, Nothing But Net. The Showdown. Michael Jordan, Larry Bird competed for a Big Mac with increasingly impossible trick shots. The phrase became a standard basketball term for the perfect shot. Nothing but net. Okay.
Yeah.
Last but not least, Diet Pepsi. You got the right one, baby. 1991. Ray Charles starred in this campaign, which popularized the response across the country. Ray Charles. I think I had to have seen that, you know? So what say ye, horsemen?
Yeah, those are all good. Myself, you get the like the Clydesdale commercials and whatever. Those are okay.
Yeah.
I think they're a little overhyped myself. Like I think just the Pepsi's got great ones. E-Trade, that little baby. Yeah. And Betty White, I heard she was supposed to do another one, but they wanted her to say something that she wouldn't have said. You know, it wasn't in a comedy context, so she wasn't going to do it. I forget what was, but she was going to do a second commercial, but didn't work out.
Right.
Even Betty White was offended, so it could have been not very nice.
Well, so what did you guys think about this way of incorporating music and the Super Bowl?
I agree with Dan. It doesn't sell me, but anyway.
Okay.
You get a captive audience. So, but like I said earlier, you just got to make sure it doesn't completely overwhelm the game. Like this year's, the halftime show was already more well known than who's even in the game. I mean, for crying out loud.
Well, that's because of so much opposition to who's doing it, really.
Yeah. Well, I know there has to be entertainment during the halftime, and I'd be happy if they did things like shoot a guy out of a cannon, have a motorcycle jump. I mean, just cool things.
Right, right. Yeah. Evel Knievel's grandson.
Mm-hmm. Right.
That'd be cool with me. Now, having said that, Royce, that doesn't mean there haven't been some great shows.
True.
Doc's list, I would agree with probably 60 to 70% of what he liked.
Well,
I didn't care for the Janet Jackson at all.
We all like the same thing. Oh, you didn't like Nipplegate?
No, not at all. Thought it was in bad taste, and I'm not into Janet Jackson. I wasn't into Michael Jackson until mild interest on the Off the Wall album, but I didn't actually go out and buy it until I bought Thriller. And Thriller sold me, and then I got Off the Wall. So I was re-educated, but I was never a fan of the Jackson 5, ever.
I was listening to Led Zeppelin.
Yeah, me too, brother.
1, 2, 3, A, B, C. I just climbing the walls when that came on.
Yeah, but when Jackson really grew into himself at his top, including up to and through the Black and White album, he was, and maybe even one after, Dangerous. And yes, there is some hip hop rap type of approaches on that album. But he makes it sound good for me. So there's one of my foibles right there, the Dangerous album. But, I liked him as a singer-songwriter. He's what I call probably more soul pop, but even pop rock, especially with the harder edge guitar sounds of Eddie Van Halen and others,
Yeah.
He became acceptable to me at that point. Yeah.
Well, Eddie Van Halen played some stuff for him. So did Slash. In fact, the fact that Slash played for Michael Jackson caused a huge rift between Slash and Axl, actually.
Oh, did it hurt his little feelings?
Well, it had nothing to do with him. It had to do with Michael, the things he was going to court for, pedophilia and stuff like that. And Axl Rose had been abused as a child. So the fact that Slash went over and played on one of his songs, it just flipped Axl out.
Well, I see in the comment section here, Dalik Shalom has a good question.
Okay.
Did the celebrity bands at halftime push up the ticket prices?
Very likely.
If there was, if there was no entertainment like a pop star at halftime, would the tickets be cheaper?
Of course. Of course.
You mean if there
You
was
don't think they're doing this they're in business, folks.
you mean if they
Of
just had a
course.
high school marching band in there for the halftime show?
Well, you're paying
Jesus.
you're paying for football only, you know.
Yeah.
No,
that's right.
no. It goes right into the ticket cost. That's not the cost of doing business. That's you suffering the cost of them doing business.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
Oh,
the,
I mean,
adver-
come
the
on.
advertisers
How many-
kick in plenty.
Yeah, I'm going to say, how many millions per 30 seconds does it charge for a commercial? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Hey, let's,
Yep,
let's all
there you
let's
go.
all say let's all say good night to Johnzerus 1616.
John,
Thank you for showing up, brother. Really
good night,
appreciate it.
brother.
Good night.
Good to have you here. Really appreciate
Always
it.
good to have you
Always good to have you here. Always good to have all of you.
here.
Good to have everybody here.
Everybody. Yes.
Oh, everybody. Right. But John was saying good night and
Yeah. James
a tip
Watson.
of the hat to John.
Oh yeah, the Eagles were the first band. Hey, when the Eagles got mentioned earlier in their their final tours, I think I have a double CD set. I actually looked for it briefly. I didn't find it. The Eagles' final tour, and I think if I'm not mistaken, it's like either in the late '80s or late '90s. This was their final tour that long ago.
Was that
Double album.
Was that the When Hell Freezes Over?
The hell freeze over.
I don't.
No,
think
that was their comeback. They
No,
never quit after that.
We even had the video of the final performance. You could watch.
I
it
can't remember if they actually toured the long run and then broke up, because that album was full of freaking tensions. And that was the first album, finally Randy had enough and they had to bring in Timothy. And he was great on it. I love Timothy B. Schmidt, but maybe that's what you're talking about, Jan, is because I would imagine they would have at least attempted. I forget, or was it the tour before that and they just suffered through each other to get that album out?
Well, I do remember when Hell Freezes Over album came out. I saw them in concert not too long after that.
Oh yeah. No, they never quit after that one. That was such, and I have the DVD of that. I own it on digital as well. What a freaking-tastic show. Although it also has bits and pieces of Don Henley showing, predicting how he'd come out. He's listening to the conductor of the orchestra that will, I think, is that the song New York Minute? And he's hearing it. And he's wincing, right? And he's talking softly, just like he would to Glenn Fry, and then Glenn Fry would boisterously, announce their decision. So he was still mealy-mouthed in those days, as he often was. Again, a major Don Henley fan, but I don't like his attitude. Then they go, well, what's wrong? And he goes, they all sound so white.
Hey guys, Joseph Blue's got a question up here on the screen. Okay, I've been trying to throw it out here to everybody. He says we're talking about how much these tickets may cost because of these shows, and it says Joseph says they don't get a traditional paycheck. The NFL does not pay an appearance fee, but they do provide a union scale minimum, typically $1,000 or less, and cover all production costs and travel. Okay. And I'm pretty sure Joseph's going to know what he's talking about. Royce, I'm amazed that you made the Super Bowl interesting to me. Well, thank you, Dr. Rick. I'm happy to hear that. That's I feel like I have a feather in my cap right now. Thank you, brother. Glad you're here. Thank you for hanging with us. We've been here for almost 2 hours now. Super Bowl is the biggest sports event, so it's going to cost the most money anyway. I don't know what a Super Bowl ticket would cost. I know if you have season tickets, like a couple of my friends had, one with the Niners, one with the Raiders, you got free Super Bowl tickets. I don't remember how many, 4, 2, whatever it is, but that came with your season tickets, you know. Okay, so let's look for some closing comments here. I think we've pretty much ran the table here. Apparently, more people watched William Shatner's brand cereal ad than watched the new series of Star Trek. I love that. That's so cool. Jersey Devil, my brother. Good to see you, man. 99% of halftime show performers promote their music, and Apple has their stuff plastered everywhere for 15 minutes, opposed to a 30-second commercial. That's the motivation. Nothing to do with the tickets. Okay, thank you, Jersey Devil.
Yeah, that's
That
a good
makes-
point.
Speaking about William Shatner's Rocket Man
Oh,
would
yeah.
be better than that. You know, I think he's talking about Starfleet Academy. Oh God. Oh
Yeah, I've heard some William Shatner songs. He's got a couple of albums out.
yeah.
It's kind of like rap. I think he just talks through them as he strums the
Right.
guitar.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
Rocket Band was a pretty big seller of his too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I was such a Trekkie fan. I was still in my teens when he did that. So I mean, you know, I loved it at the time. And then later, years later, I go, "What a ham," you know.
Hey, I think Dawson Walters got an interesting comment here. He's our he subs in here as a four horseman when people don't show up, and we're always happy to have him. He contributes quite a bit. He says, "I've watched on TV from 2012 to the present, and Katy Perry was my favorite performer. She came out in what was it, a big, gigantic metal golden lion, wasn't it, or a tiger? Like I mentioned it earlier, and I've actually seen pictures of it today. But that sounds really interesting. I imagine a lot of these you can go find online. You know, if you Google them. More people watched a literal Spock doll sitting on a chair than a free viewing of the premiere episode of the new Star Trek." God. Dawson Walters, hey buddy. Okay. All right. Well, I just want to thank you guys for being here on the panel. Michael, Dan the man, and Chris Elliott. Appreciate all of you. Appreciate everybody.
Thanks for having us on, Royce.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
you're quite welcome. Thanks for being here. And you know what? There wouldn't be a show without the people that come in the chat and interact with us.
Absolutely.
I try to show as much of it as I can. It's not always easy because I get so far behind because we're talking and doing a show. But anyway, I appreciate you all. And I thank you all for being here. Smash the like button, hit the subscribe button. You know the routine. We'll see you next Sunday, if not sooner. We do some pre-recordings during the week. Not every week, but some weeks. So thank you all so much. And that's what's happening in Royce's world today. And we will see you all in the next show. Thanks, guys.
Good night, all.
Good
Good
night,
night,
all. I'll finish scrolling my chat. Fan freaking tastic show. Well, thank you, Dawson. That means a lot coming from a junior horseman. I'm just kidding. Not a junior horseman. No, I call you the future. You're the future, Dawson. One of these days, we're all going to be gone, and you're going to have your name's going to be in lights. You're going to be Dawson, the future Walters. I guarantee it.
Yeah, and I'll share the spotlight with him.
yeah. Chris will still be here.
I'll be the senior by then.
Yeah, no, you will. Yeah. Rock and Robin, good night. Thank you. Joseph Blue, good night. Thank you. Go Pats. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Although I think I'm going with Seattle, actually. Okay. Not a big fan of either one, but all right, guys. Thank you all so much. I am checking out of here.